Do you really think you're living in reality? Since the moment you were born, they showed you this world. They allowed you to see it, but only through their filters. You were born into a script where everything already had a name. The Earth was already a spinning ball. America was already discovered. Wars were already won. Dinosaurs were already extinct. You saw none of this with your own eyes. You simply accepted it. Like a player in a game, you were taught, these are the heroes, these are the villains, these are the good ones, and these are the bad. Here are the books, here are the dates, here are the explanations. But who gave you a choice? Who asked you if you even wanted to believe it? Look around. On the walls hang portraits of great men, faces printed by the millions, yet you have never heard their voices, never walked beside them, never seen them live. You didn't discover the world. You were handed a version of it. And now, honestly, ask yourself, what do you truly know firsthand? Not what you've been told, not what you've read, but what you've seen with your own eyes. They told you that Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492, that he sailed from Spain, reached the Bahamas, and then the Caribbean. They call him the discoverer of the New World. He was written into textbooks, into your school memories, into the official history. But fact one, the Fra Mauro map from 1459, decades before Columbus, already shows landforms strikingly similar to South America, and they are labeled. Fact two, the Piri Reis map drawn in 1513 by a Turkish admiral shows part of Antarctica, without ice. According to official science, Antarctica has been under ice for at least 6,000 years. So who saw it exposed? Fact 3. In China, during the Ming Dynasty, Admiral Zheng He sailed enormous fleets to Africa, and possibly to America, 70 years before Columbus. But this isn't included in your school books. Fact 4. Maps from the 1500s often depict South America's rivers and mountain ranges in surprising detail, features supposedly discovered centuries later. So who mapped them? History isn't teaching you the truth. It's giving you a script where the performance has already ended. You're clapping for actors you've never seen. You're trusting stage props you've never touched. And even when the evidence and the maps, the contradictions, then lies right in front of you, you still sit in your chair because leaving the theater is scarier than believing in the play. Now tell me honestly, have you ever seen a dinosaur? Not in a movie, not in a museum filled with plaster bones. In real life? They told you dinosaurs died 66 million years ago. They showed you drawings and skeletons. But you saw, at best, reconstructions. Scientists themselves admit that 90% of the complete skeletons are guesswork. They simply imagine what the creature might have looked like. A story, painted over fragments. They showed you images of space, of nebulas, of satellites, of astronauts walking on the moon. But pause for a second. Why are most photos of Earth admitted to be composite images? Why does NASA officially confirm that most pictures of Earth are not real photographs? Why is the moon the only celestial body humans have allegedly visited, yet we can't seem to repeat a trip we supposedly accomplished in the 1960s? Seriously, with 2025 technology, and we can't redo what we supposedly managed with 1960s tech? And what about Antarctica? A forbidden continent. You can't just go there. A 1959 international treaty prohibits private exploration. Really? You can visit Mars in a video game, but you can't walk freely on your own planet? Let's return to the maps. Piri Reis, 1513. Antarctica shown without ice. Orontius Phineas, 1531. Again, Antarctica's true land contours free of glaciers. Modern satellite scans under the ice match these ancient maps. So, who mapped it 500 years ago? Have you seen medieval armor in museums? Heavy, shiny, intimidating. But ask yourself, how do you move in that? A full suit of armor can weigh up to 35 kilograms. With a tiny slit to see through, how could they fight? Aim? Breathe? If you fell off your horse, you weren't a warrior anymore. You were a turtle on its back. How did they go to the bathroom? You think someone kindly unfastened their plates during battle breaks? In truth, many of these armors were ceremonial, built for parades, not real wars. Costumes for show, you were never there. But you believe because they showed you a picture. You feel it, don't you? This world, it's like a glossy catalog. You're flipping through pages you didn't design. You've only seen what they wanted you to see. But now, you are starting to truly see. Have you ever wondered how they lifted 1,000-ton megaliths, built pyramids, Baalbek, Stonehenge, without cranes, without modern technology? They say they dragged them on logs. Seriously? Moving an 800-ton stone on a few logs? Even today, modern cranes struggle with such weights. Who built these things? How? And more importantly, why? Why do ancient statues show perfect anatomy, tendons, muscles, fingernails, at a time when people supposedly had no cameras, no mirrors, no advanced medicine? Who really made those masterpieces? Were they truly ancient? Or were they planted into the world like ready-made props? Think about the clothing of the past. Layers of velvet, corsets, powdered wigs. Do you really think someone would wear 5 heavy layers of fabric just to harvest wheat? It's theater, mannequins in costumes, NPCs in extravagant skins. Imagine a woman waking every day, binding herself into a 1.5-meter-wide dress, corsets, and layers of petticoats. To fetch water? Imagine climbing a stone spiral staircase in that outfit. And the men, white, powdered wigs, frills, no hygiene, infestations hiding beneath. Does this really seem natural? It was a mask, a decoration for a fake era. And what about those grand palaces of the 1700s? Symmetrically perfect, marble, gilded, magnificent, built in cities that otherwise consisted of muddy huts and wooden shacks? Really? Nations who couldn't build straight roads supposedly constructed Versailles? Where are the blueprints? Where are the construction photographs? Where are the stages of development? It's as if the buildings were already there, inserted into the reality like a pre-built movie set. You're starting to see it, aren't you? This world was staged before you ever arrived. You were born into an arranged simulation, architecture, statues, history, but no living memory. Everything was already there. The laws, the flags, the religions, the borders. And now imagine, what if all of it is just background scenery? What if the real story only begins with you? You never saw dinosaurs. You never watched the pyramids rise. You never witnessed Columbus set sail. You saw pictures. But what if the pictures were fake? What if the world was built only when you started to look for it? You are not a continuation of history. You are its starting point. You are not a guest in this simulation. You are the one who activated it. The script was blank, the matrix was waiting, and the moment you began to question, it began to update. Now you know how to ask the right questions. Now you see, behind every fact is a storyteller. You were never just the audience. You are the author. Now stand up, look into the mirror, and ask yourself, if this is all an illusion, then who is really in charge? You know the answer. And it's looking back at you, from the inside. You feel it, don't you? This world, it's like a glossy catalog. You're flipping through pages you didn't design. You've only seen what they wanted you to see. You saw only what you were allowed to see. You didn't explore the earth yourself. You didn't discover continents. You didn't climb mountains or cross oceans. You accepted the images. You accepted the narratives. You accepted the reality they painted for you. And now, you are starting to truly see. Thank you for being here. If our paths are meant to cross again, you will know it. Stay aware, stay free. The journey has only just begun. See you on the other side.